guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike.
I'm Jay.
And we've reached the precipice of ass and taint and giblets.
Everything is fucked and something's on fire. That's what it feels like with this movie. Everything is fucked and something's on fire. Batman and Robin, holy good shits.
We've been conferring alone in our garage naked, and we decided when we wrestled and put on the baby oil and did stuff we can't talk about on YouTube because we'll get banned, that this is the worst movie of all time.
It might be.
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you want to know about the darkness?
I said, God damn.
God damn you, Michael!
I said, God damn.
A lot of people don't know the darkness that goes inside their hearts.
I said, God damn.
God damn you, Michael!
It might be, guys. Literally, it might very well be. This is the epitome of a train wreck. This is the epitome of having sex and finding out you got STD and a little wart on your wiener afterwards. Like, this is the epitome of just
You would know.
the world. I've never had that happen to me, so. But no, it's the epitome of horseshit. And you know, like, trying to find anything good about this movie is like you know, an American Wedding when Stifler, when that dog eats the ring and he has to go through the dog shit and he finds the ring. That's what it's like, going through a pile of shit trying to find one sparkly gold ring. And there's only one in this, and the only thing that about this movie that's any good whatsoever is Michael Gove's performance as Alfred. And it was his last performance as far as like ever, you know, being Alfred again. And he did a really good job. And I do like the fact that they showed more of the family side of him and Bruce Wayne. I did like that. I think that was a really good, touching thing that they had in the movie. But everything else is a fucking train wreck of mass proportions.
Yeah, it's a train to Busan, only instead of Busan, it's porta potty.
Fucking terrible zombies eating your face.
Swimming pool filled with porta potty juices.
Yeah.
But no, dude, and the reason why, and here's like, I know there's worse movies out there. We've seen and reviewed worse movies than this, sure.
I just can't think of any right now.
The reason why I think this is the worst film of all time, the quintessential numero uno pieces of shit, is that if you look at the cast and you look at the money and you look at what they had to work with, and they failed this miserably, that's what makes it the worst. You had Arnold Schwarzenegger. You had George Clooney.
You had Kill Bill Uma Thurman.
I almost said Chris O'Donnell, but I can't say that. You had just an insane cast. You had all this money. You had all this stuff going for you. And man, this was, as a kid, this was one of my most anticipated movies ever as a kid. Like, I remember I lied to myself. I sat in the theater and I watched it. And it ended, and I was like, I liked it.
Yeah, dude, that one. I remember when I was in the theater too watching it. It was like, even then, my stupid young brain knew. I was like, something's wrong. Like, I mean, I do watching it. I was like, even when I was that young, and you believe anything, and I was like, something's not right.
This film literally
like,
gave me anxiety.
Am I gay? Like, it was like a lot. It was like a moment. Like, there was a moment that I was having a self-reflection watching this piece of shit that on the big screen even back then. But yeah, dude, it was just, it's terribly put together. This is the equivalent of, I feel like Joel Schumacher was. You remember that scene in Seven where this guy was like, he told me to fuck her, so I fucked her. This is like the studio telling Joel Schumacher to fuck her with a knife. And Joel Schumacher had to do it. Yeah. Because at this point, this is literally a corporate machine making the movie to sell toys. This is a big, long toy commercial for Toys R Us. And it's so bad. It's so badly written. It's so terribly performed.
George Clooney said after it was over, he's like, when shooting wrapped up, he was like, I'm pretty sure we just killed the Batman franchise.
Yeah, you did, and you killed your careers for a while. But here's the thing. But he was like, hey, we got to get paid. It's like that song Tupac, I see no changes. He's like, I made a G today, but you made it in a sleazy way, selling crack to them kids. Got to get paid. Well, hey.
That would be our Rotten Tomatoes.
That's it, dude.
I
sell it crack to the kids. I got to get paid. Well, hey. That's the way it is. But that's what yeah, look, these guys sold their soul to the devil. Like, there was no doubt about it. And there was no way they read this script. It was like, this is going to be a powerhouse of a movie. No, they were like, man, my beach house needs the rent. But yeah, and
Harry, we've reached the top.
And it's really weird too, because we talk about George Clooney is an incredible actor, and you got George Clooney, and he was coming off of like Dusk Till Dawn, so he was still in that badass Caesar cut moment. Yep. And he went back to his character in Roseanne. Like, he was just the Roseanne guy.
Hey, Freeze, I'm Batman.
Yeah, and that was the most...
Hey,
Yeah, you said that George Clooney knew it was bad. I think that when you can hear it in his voice.
Yeah.
Hey, Freeze, I'm Batman. It was just like, yeah, I don't care.
And like you said, I agree with you that the only good part is the touching stuff between him and Michael Gough.
That's
Alfred.
great. Yeah.
When he's sitting there and he's rubbing his head and he's like, "I love you" or whatever.
I love you, old man.
That was a good scene. But even at that scene, like every time George Clooney had to emote in this film, he just smiled. He would just go.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mind the part where he was talking to when even the dialogue that he had with Chris O'Donnell's Robin when he was like, as a friend, as a partner, as a brother, will you trust me? I feel like there was something there in that moment. Like that acting was like, oh, he's got some acting skill. He's still alive. Like I feel like that could have been expanded on. Of course, it wasn't. What's really interesting though about those Michael Gough moments, the Alfred character and Bruce Wayne, George Clooney in this, is when sometimes George Clooney would look away and he would see a flashback of like Alfred. You know what? They kind of did that with Batman Begins, showing those flashbacks.
Yeah.
So it felt like they did take like moments that were really good in this, and then they used them later on to make a good Batman movie. But I'm not going to lay this entirely on Joel Schumacher's feet. I'm really not, because I feel like Joel Schumacher wanted to make his movie and he wanted to be a part of it, and then this is literally studios coming in and crushing everything creative about it and saying fuck it.
I think actually what happened to me, I give Schumacher more shit than you do on this one, because I think what happened was Schumacher wanted to do it with Batman Forever. I think Schumacher, he said he wanted to do Batman Year One, and he begged them after this movie to let him come back and do it right. He was like, let me do Batman Year One and make it darker, and they were like, no, and they moved on and eventually went to Christopher Nolan, which was the right choice.
Yeah.
But before with Batman Forever, he wanted a darker movie, and then he listened to the studio, and then this movie, while it was a critical mixture, it was a powerhouse at the box office. Batman Forever was. It did amazing.
Yeah, it did.
So I think with this one, Schumacher said, okay, you guys were right. I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna be all in, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose with the studio on this one. And they said before the shots that he would sit there with his megaphone, and before every shot he would scream, all right guys, remember, we are making a cartoon.
Yeah.
And they're like, that just sucked the air right
Well,
out
yeah,
of
if he was sucking the dicks of the corporate overlords, then fine. But at the same time, I just feel like he's such a creative guy. And again, I mean, he's responsible for some of the best movies that we've ever seen, like Lost Boys and all that.
Great director.
Falling Down and Phone Booth. I just don't see, like, I feel like the only way he would do this is like, if you don't do it, we'll replace you. Simple as that. We don't need you. Because I feel like this is where the studios were like, all that sells is the character itself of Batman. We can do whatever we want with it because people are stupid. So it doesn't matter who's behind the camera. We'll replace you with another shill. True. So Joel Schumacher is probably like, all right, well, I don't want that to happen because I don't want that to be a black mark on my record. So I might want to work with Warner Brothers later on. So that's probably what he did.
And to his credit, he apologized for this movie. He was like, anybody that was disappointed with this, he was like, I genuinely apologize.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And George Clooney would pay people's refunds. Like if someone says they saw the movie, he would pay for their tickets.
Look,
like, here you go.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, this was such a bad career move for Arnold Schwarzenegger. He became governor of California just to get away from it. And this is what causes muscle mass to disappear. No, I'm kidding. But it was, oh my God. The thing is, where to start? Victor Freeze is terrible. Like, it was like absolutely terrible. The character of Victor Freeze is amazing. That character is so complex, and there's so many different levels of that character in the comic books that he's one of the more interesting villains that Batman has, and they completely sidestepped that and made him a Saturday morning cartoon joke. Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy. Again, Poison Ivy is kind of a sultry slut. That's true in the comic books, but she's a lot more like conniving and like cooler and just got more, just different. They made her just stupid. Again, she looks like a Walt Disney World leftover. And then you got Bane. Again, Bane is one of the best badass characters that Batman has ever faced. He broke the bat. Like, that's the whole idea why even Bane exists.
He may be the worst character of all.
And they did. They just totally said, fuck it. We just need to have another villain in there. Throw that big dummy in there.
They did Captain America. They did this literally the Captain America. They gave him the juice. By the way, that doctor, no offense, Dave, looks just like Dave McRae. I swear to God, I was watching, I was like, Dave!
And that's a compliment, because that's Lionel Luthor from Smallville. He was amazing in that.
He's a handsome man, just like Dave is. But no, dude, I think Bane was the worst one to me. And we were talking about this before, but like, how stupid who the fuck has Arnold Schwarzenegger willing to be in your movie, and you also have Bane as a character in your movie, and you didn't put that together? Imagine if Arnold Schwarzenegger was fucking Bane.
He should have been
Holy
Bane.
tit
and
bags.
Victor Freeze, I don't know. He's definitely not, like, first off, again, Schwarzenegger was just miscast. He's too big for the role of Victor Freeze. It just, and by the way, why in the fuck does his goddamn suit make him look like Goldar? Like, he looks like when he's flying, when they're like, surf's up, and he's like, bat bomb, and then they go, surf's up, and then they start following, and he has his wings pop out. He looks like Goldar from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie 95.
Dude, I cannot believe, like, I knew that they jumped the shark from the second it starts, and he's like, hey, Freeze, I'm Batman. He's like, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age! Like, I knew immediately we were in for it, but then when they go up in that silo, and he's like, where are we going to get down? And he's like, watch this, surf's up or whatever he said.
Surf's up.
It's like in Jim Carrey and Batman Forever, surf's up, big kahuna!
Yeah.
Like, and they surf on doors from like almost like space.
Yeah, and then you hear Chris O'Donnell go, "Cowabunga!" I'm like, oh,
It's fucking Ninja Turtle ass.
Well, also I thought it was funny. Listen, I didn't get into that. Like some of the instruments. First off, he pulls out a bat card. Never leave the cave without it. Oh, dude, this was like literally a continuous like dad jokes. Every single scene was a dad joke.
Yeah.
Like the whole when Victor Fries confronts Uma Thurman's Poison Ivy, he's like, "Out of my way, garden gal, or I'll turn you into mulch." Like, no, he goes, pheromones, because designed to turn a man's hot or whatever. He's like, "Mine's cold," or so. It was just so. You know what? It's really funny to me if you really look at the way the Batman franchise started, as far as like in the movies. 89. The guy that pitched the idea, I can't remember his name, he produced it. He said it took him forever to get a studio to sign on to the darker, more grittier version of Batman, the one Batman that he thought everybody should see, the real Batman, meaning that's what Michael Keaton and the Tim Burton movies were. But the studio back in the day were interested in the mid 80s. They wanted to make a Batman movie that was similar to Christopher Reeve's Superman. They wanted to make a campy ass Adam West version of it, and they got their fucking wish, and they literally almost killed the franchise.
Yeah.
Because this is literally what the studio always wanted. Is this wackadoo? You know what? They could have thrown in, and I'm surprised they didn't. You could have had Adam West play fucking Mr. Freeze in this.
You could have had him play Batman in this. I mean, it's so fun. It's the most expensive Saturday morning cartoon.
$160 million they spent on this
of all time. And look, I get it. If they were going to make this movie, and they were just for kids, but it's not even for like kids. I don't know how old I was, but I was old enough.
This is for comatose kids.
I was old enough to care and want the toys and also like read the snippets about it when I could get my hands on them, and like want the magazine about it. So
that was before the internet was really a thing, so you were still learning. You didn't know.
Yeah, you buy like the movie guide or whatever.
I used to get those on the Disney Adventures or whatever.
And if you're just
magazines.
looking at it, if you're just looking at pictures of it, you're like, man, that looks fucking awesome.
It did look good.
And then you heard the soundtrack, R. Kelly, Gotham City.
I like that song.
Like, yeah, like the soundtrack was good, and like Batman Forever, we liked that one as kids. But even this one as a kid, as a child, you were even like, that's not what I fucking wanted.
I felt like and by the way, the back car in this was terrible looking. I didn't like it at all. And I was like, and it didn't even have a hood to it. I was like, what if you got shot in the face?
And a fucking slap.
That's what I even thought when I was a kid. I was like, why didn't it have a top? Like, what if he gets shot in the face? Like, it's like Dumb and Dumber's like, what if he shot me in the face? Yeah, what if he shot me in the face? Like, it just doesn't make any sense why it would have no top to it. But yeah, it's just, and then when at the very beginning of the movie, Robin and Batman confront Mr. Freeze at the Museum of Natural Order or whatever. I like how they both burst through the walls, and they have their symbols. Somehow they made their perfect cutout symbols in the wall. Like, a Batman bursts through it, and it looks like a bat symbol. And then Robin comes in, and it looks like the Robin symbol. It's like, how the fuck did you do that?
Oh, dude, and the tools, the amount of tools that they pull out and use for every situation, they would have to carry a fucking Santa Claus-sized satchel, like, behind them, over their arms. Everyone's like, no, you need a laser? I got one. I got a fucking slap chop. I got a blade. I got whatever you need, man.
It was incredibly goddamn stupid. You know what? It was really just insulting even to kids, because it was like, how dumb do you think kids are? Like, even kids were like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I was watching and I was a kid, I was like, something's happening here. Like, I feel like I'm witnessing the death of like a relative. Like, you're literally their last days and you're with them.
Something's wrong. And actually, dude, I feel worse for Arnold Schwarzenegger because, Schumacher even said he felt bad for some of the action. He's like, Schwarzenegger was, he was just being Schwarzenegger. And Schwarzenegger's entertaining or whatever. No one could have done anything with those lines. And by the way, the same guy who wrote this wrote fucking Cinderella Man in A Beautiful Mind.
That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Again, so the guy can write. Like, so there was something going on.
Somebody held his wife hostage and blackmailed him into write a piece of shit. This is the only way.
But like, I feel worse for Schwarzenegger than anybody because if you look at his IMDb, like what happened to his career, Schwarzenegger still had a great career after this. It's not like he disappeared into nothingness, but he had heart surgery right after the film. He didn't make another movie for 2 years.
So he gave him a heart attack.
And when he came back, it was End of Days. And remember when End of Days came out, we loved it, but a bunch of people were like, oh, this is the end of Schwarzenegger. And then after that, he didn't do a whole lot. He at least didn't do this.
Didn't he do The Sixth Man? Or not the one with the clone?
Yeah, the Sixth Day and like Eraser. But this was like on the downcline for him. Like, it was right after this that everything really went on the downcline. And I feel bad for him, man, because I think Schwarzenegger's one of the greatest actors of our time. Yeah. At least entertainers of our time, I should say. But
I just felt bad for all of them. I feel like they all were pretty good actors in their own right, and this was just a terrible movie.
He turned down Conan, the sequel to Conan, to do this instead.
What a fuckhead. Well, yeah, because he did Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer Well, they did Conan the Destroyer.
Rud Sonya.
Well,
No, it was another one. They were going to do another one.
That
and
was,
then
yeah,
it
but yeah, it sucks, man. It really is. It's a shame. It's a big, terrible shame. You know, but you know what? Batman and Robin will forever be held for. It will always be held up in high esteem in my eyes for this one reason only, is because this is going to be what people show other people on how not to make a movie. It's a perfect example on how not to destroy a franchise, and I feel like that for that reason alone, congratulations, you get a half a star.
Hey, who the fuck is shocked that it was Warner Brothers that put this together?
Well, and also,
I'm not.
By the way, it also killed Chris O'Donnell's career. I mean, that's 100% fact. I mean, really, he didn't do shit. I mean, what's he doing now? CSI, like he's in CSI every once in a while. I don't know, but I know his career was over. And Alicia Silverstone, she didn't have much going. There was just why the fuck would you bring him back? And then you even have the nerve to say, that's not very PC. Shouldn't it be Bat Person or Bat Woman? I was like, you shut your mouth, George. We got bigger problems right now than worry about pronouns, you dumb shit. And it's like, why the fuck did she get your Batcave?
And she shows up, she's like, I'm in college, so I know hacking. She breaks into the fucking Batcave. Like, are you telling me that Alfred, like the keeper of Batman's secret, has a picture next to his computer with the word of his password on it, and it's 3 letters. By the way, what computer system lets you make a password with 3 fucking letters? Peg? Like, nobody, like, fucking nobody will do that.
Yeah, it's true.
Even back then, I'm sure. But then, like, dude, they made it so easy to
like,
crack into.
What's your password? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
My password's password.
Because that's amazing. I got the same combination on my luggage. He goes, what kind of idiot would name their password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
It's Samsonite. But like, dude, they make it so easy to break into the Batcave. Yeah. Like in all these movies, honestly, they make it way too easy for everybody to figure out.
Like you said, you said the last one. I mean, Chris O'Donnell worked for it.
Yeah, at least he had to do some crazy shit.
But I got to be honest with you, man. Batman and Robin, there's barely anything that you could say about it that's good. And the only thing is again, Michael Go's performance was good, and I did like that they explored the familial relations that George Clooney had with Alfred in this, or Bruce Wayne had with Alfred in this. And also, I do like the fact that Alfred's not sick; he's dying. And when he's talking to Chris O'Donnell, he's like, I just know. I think that stuff was really good. I was like, why can't you just do more shit like that? Where it's get like a serious kind of tone going and really talk about it like we're adults. Instead, you want to go cartoon flashy your boobies. I don't know. But yeah, dude, overall, this movie, to me, this movie's a fucking 0.5, dude.
That's what I'm giving it.
It's a 0.5. I didn't even have fun with it. No. Like, there's nothing fun. I mean, if you're 2 years old and you're still sucking on your mom's tit, you might enjoy it. Because at that point, you're looking around everything, taking it in. You're like, what the fuck?
Like, hey, kids, you want to see me take a dump on your favorite franchise?
That's the only, this
for 2 hours and 4 fucking minutes?
Yeah, this
the
is...
runtime. 2 hours and 4 minutes.
Yeah,
for
and
this.
Again, I meant to tell, again, I told you that, guys. $160 million was spent on this fucking movie. 160. Where the fuck was the money?
It couldn't be worse if the fucking Joker made it himself just to watch the world burn.
That's what this would be a plot by the Joker.
Like, this was what Joker did.
This was what Joker. He's like, I'll destroy your legacy.
Dude, could you imagine some Wes Craven super meta shit where like we go into the sequel and this whole movie was like contrived by the Joker? Like he had some guy at Warner Brothers in his pocket and we fucking go. I know
what you're saying. No, it's like
that.
No, it's like this could be a movie inside of a Christopher Nolan movie.
I'll kill the Batman in fiction.
No, I mean like this could be a movie inside the movie, like when they did Stab.
Yeah.
It was Scream. It's like their version of what really happened, but it's terrible.
Holy tits!
Christopher Nolan could have done that and played it somewhere during like a theater. You know what? Batman could be running through a building and blowing something up, and then when he runs, it's a movie theater, and you see Batman and Robin playing.
Yeah,
because I don't know, but
by the way, fucking golf clap for Christopher Nolan because Batman Begins is next.
Oh yeah.
And hey, he brought something back from the fucking dead. Toasted chalupa.
I'm not lying to you. After watching this and then watching Batman Begins, I was like, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life. Batman Begins is the greatest movie of all time, just because of how bad Batman and Robin was.
Yeah, I mean, they tried. They not only almost killed Batman. I'm pretty sure this was so bad they almost killed superhero movies. Yeah. Like no Marvel Avengers Endgame, fucking nothing. I mean.
Oh yeah, they came. I'd say that's fair because I mean, honest to God, if any studio was looking, I mean, no, it came out. That I think that galvanized and saved the superhero movie industry after this movie was Blade, because Blade came out in '98. Yeah, and I think that was why I think this movie came out in '97.
Yeah.
So it came out 1 year later. Thank God for Blade, by the way, because Blade did it. Blade was the one that brought it back. But yeah, this could literally kryptonite bullet the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, it's fucking goddamn.
Because it took them that long. 97 to 2. I mean, that's not terribly long, but that's still a long to get another Batman movie. Because they were going to come out. They already had plans before the movie was even released called Batman Triumphant. Yeah, they were going to do another Batman.
They were going to give fucking Chris O'Donnell a goddamn Nightwing movie, man.
Well, you know what? It is interesting if you look at his suit. Do you like Robin's suit?
I did like his suit in this one.
Well, Robin's suit in this one, the red, it was really designed based on the actual Nightwing character, because the Nightwing, the only difference was it was red, it's blue in the comic books. But I felt like that suit was way better than the Robin suit in Batman Forever. But yeah, dude, it's.
By the way, I like that fucking Alfred can like in 1997 can turn his brain into a fucking computer program. Like,
oh yeah,
are you kidding
the
me?
Simulation.
Yeah, like the fucking technology, and he can make a computer 3D print outfits.
Yeah, well, you know, he must have known Elon Musk back then.
Alfred was fucking. That's where they got their fucking money from. I don't know. This movie, like some movies are garbage juice, right?
Yeah.
This movie is if you took a bag of garbage juice and smoked it. You smoked it. You put it like on a crack pipe or something, and you smoked garbage juice. That's Batman and Robin. Put that on our Rotten Tomatoes blurb.
This is like falling in love with somebody and then finding out they were your sister.
Yeah.
And like you'd had sex
And your
with them,
dad.
and then they vomited on you.
With your dog.
And then everybody
watching.
found out about it, and then you had to go get a chihuahua and become gay in Wyoming.
And your turtle died.
And then that all happened at once. That's a bad day.
The becoming gay part was.
I sure hope you're not part of the fire
That
brigade.
was the 0.5. That was the only
Yeah,
positive.
it really is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It literally is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with just, not even like the worst superhero movie I've ever seen in my life, one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
If I ever travel in time, or if I get to the gates of heaven and God says, "Hey man, what was your like least favorite movie of all time?" I'm gonna look at them and I'm gonna say, "This is Batman fucking."
It's hard not to.
I'm not gonna say fuck to God.
But if you died right now, it would be hard pressed not to say it. But like, I feel like this is what happens when Biff stole the time machine and went back and changed everything, and everything's fucked up now. Like everybody got back to 1985, but we're in this hell.
Exactly.
That's what happened. But yeah.
Comment below, guys. What is the worst movie of all time in your opinion? Comment down below. We love your fucking
Well, I know it's not
faces.
going to be this one. People are like, because they're going to say, we know it's not the worst.
I liked it.
No, there might be a couple. But
I enjoy it.
But those are the guys that's what they'll look like.
And
too.
yeah, and no offense, by the way, if you
No,
liked
if
it,
you
that's
like it,
fucking
hey,
awesome.
that's
But
cool, man.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
and some
cool.
people enjoy it for the campiness of it because they like the
Adam West,
shit.
yeah.
so
If you like the
I
Adam
get
West
that.
stuff, you definitely would love this
Yeah.
movie. So there you
Yeah.
go. But yeah.
But I'm just not gonna have omelets with you in the morning.
I also question your prescription that you got from your doctor at the optometry. But
Hey, we love your fucking faces. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow or soon, very soon, with Batman Begins.
yeah, it's gonna cap. It's gonna begin.
Dude, what if the Batman with Robert Pattinson, when it comes out next week, is actually worse than
Why
this
don't you
movie?
shut the fuck up?
What if that happens?
Dude, then I lose all hope. I've already lost most hope
What if
in Warner
that
Brothers.
happened?
Then fuck it. I'm gonna be a fan of Marvel always.
I don't think that'll happen. I think it's gonna be.
Then
good.
I'll go all the way to MCU.
But what if that happens?
Don't say things like that. It's like, what if our parents get divorced?
Don't say that.
What if our parents get divorced?